What's happening, guys? Graphzilla Sports here, back with you. I am Joe, and just wanted to kind of share an update on an in-person autograph success from Tuesday, April 12th, the Detroit Tigers versus the Boston Red Sox. It was the date of Spencer Torkelson's first career hit against the Red Sox. Tigers did end up losing the game, unfortunately, that day, but we did really good and set a new record for in-person autograph successes. So let's take a look at it, shall we? All right, so a new record, 17 in-person autographs on the 12th of April against the Boston Red Sox. Did have some help with my family, helped me get a couple of multiple sign here. So gonna be hard to beat 17 in one day, guys. Let's start off with the mascot. So pause, 2 of 2. I did have the cards. I brought them as I do with all my other Tigers cards and even some Tigers alumni, because you never know who's gonna show up. And got pause to kind of slap down a signature here on these 2 cards as well. Starting pitcher from that game, who unfortunately took the loss, was Tyler Alexander. He's been kind of floating between the starting rotation and the bullpen. He signed 3 of 3 here, as you can see. Really cool guy, though, and really hope the best for him. He's got a live arm. He's got a lot of potential, and hopefully he can kind of stick around in the starting rotation and do some great things here for the Tigers. So we'll see what happens, but was gracious enough to sign 3 of these cards for us. Craig Monroe, CMO as they call him, obviously working for Bally Sports and obviously still associated with the Tigers, his alumni for sure, and one of the most gracious signers that you're going to find at Comerica Park. So he signed for my family and I 3 cards here as well that I had. These turned out really nice in blue Sharpie, and always good to kind of chat it up with CMO and get his baseball insight, and always a really gracious signer at the ballpark as well. Last but not least here on the Detroit News card, this is a pretty cool card. It was a Tiger Stadium card. I didn't have a lot of my personal cards with me at the time, but 68 World Series champ and Tigers alumni, Jim Price, who on the side of Dan Dickerson, provide the Tigers play-by-play radio for the team and have done so since I was just a little kid. So, told Jim, I said, man, I've been listening to you since you and Ernie were paired up. Always appreciate the great job that you do on the radio. And he was really gracious and a really great signer. Had a nice little quick conversation with Jimmy Price. But awesome member from the 68 World Series team, was a catcher, along with Mr. Bill Freehand, who unfortunately passed last year. But loved Jimmy Price and signed this card for me as well. All right, and the last 2 for cards that we had. The top one, I didn't have a card of him or like a photo, but I used this Tiger hologram card, and this is none other than Dan Dickerson, who I mentioned Jimmy Price earlier. He is the other side of the radio for the Detroit Tigers. So Dan Dickerson's been with the team, I believe, since 2003. Most well known for his walk-off call of Maglio Ordonez's home run in the ALCS, AL Championship Series against the Oakland A's when the Tigers went to the World Series in 2006. So he signed up this hologram card and also inscribed it "Voice of the Tigers." So I thought that was a pretty cool, unique piece to get from Dan as he was kind of heading to the Tigers Players Garage. And last but not least, Tigers catcher Dustin Garneau. So was able to get him on a card as well. Also got him on a baseball, which we'll take a look at here in just a second. But did really well from a card standpoint. 11 cards signed total, and definitely a new in-person graphing record for me on this day. All right, and pregame during batting practice was able to snag a couple of guys as well. 3 from the Red Sox, all pitchers. The first one is Ryan Brazier. So he's a pitcher for the Sox. Was able to get him kind of trotting into the dugout area before the pregame, and that was pretty cool to add a Boston Red Sox player. For those that don't know, Red Sox are my number 2 favorite team. So my first game I ever went to was in 1996 at the old historic Tiger Stadium. It was the Tigers versus the Boston Red Sox, and it was the Boston Red Sox of the Roger Clemens era. My first game ever, Clemens was in town, mowed down something like multi-digit strikeouts. I don't know if it was like 12 or 13 strikeouts he had in the game. Tigers lost 8-2. I can still remember it. Bobby Higginson hit a home run in that game for the very lone Tiger offense that was happening. But, man, I've been hooked on the Red Sox and the Tigers ever since. So Ryan Brazier came through here, signed a game It was a game used ball that I had, and I figured, you know, I might as well get an autograph on it, put it to good use here, and sign this ball nicely here on the sweet spot. All right, next one we have here is another Boston Red Sox pitcher, Crawford. Got him as well pregame. And a lot of these guys are kind of cool to get, right? Because they're pretty young, they're kind of still up and coming, so you don't really know what direction their careers are going to go. They could fizzle out and not amount to much of anything, or they could be huge superstars of the game. You just never really know. But regardless, was just kind of ecstatic to get some away players from the Red Sox. And let me tell you, in my opinion, Comerica Park is one of the toughest ballparks to graph at. I've heard similar things from other folks, just with the netting, just with, you know, the fact that players don't always seem to come out. You just really have to know where to stand and be in the right place at the right time. It definitely helped that I had some other folks on my side of the family that were willing and able to help me get some autographs, which is probably why I set this record today. So it was pretty cool. All right, another Red Sox pitcher in Austin Davis, signed on the sweet spot as well. So that was pretty cool. So I was feeling pretty good at this point, you know, getting 3 Red Sox pregame to sign. Was feeling really, really good, and decided, you know, obviously after the game, we stuck around, which is why we were able to get so many cards signed as well. And also the next 3 baseballs I'm going to show you on the Tiger side, all gotten post-game by the Tigers garage, kind of after the game. So I'll share with you here what I was able to get, and we'll dive right into it now. So I showed you guys the Tyler Alexander cards that I was able to get signed. Also was able to snag them on a baseball, which was really cool. Kind of autographed baseballs are my thing. My deep and darkest desire is eventually to set the world record for most autographed baseballs in a collection, which I know is something like over 4,500. And the gentleman in New York has held that record for a long time. And trust me, I am very, 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 very far away from breaking that. But if you ever are interested in trading, dropping me some mail or anything of that sort, I'll flash up my P.O. box here as well. If you want to help me get to that goal, always open to trades. You know, just try to do some giveaways here for the channel as well. But obviously, the more manpower, the better. And hopefully one day I can hit that record. So was really excited to get Tyler Alexander. Had not had him on anything else prior to this season. So now I feel pretty good about it, getting 4 autographs from him in one day. And especially after he started on the mound and unfortunately took a Tigers loss, but was still gracious enough to sign and was in a good mood after the game. All right, and this is signed by none other than Dustin Garneau, who I was able to get a card from earlier. My dad and I were both in the same area, so I got him on a card. My dad got him on the baseball for me, which was pretty cool. Was not able to get him last year, so this was pretty neat, and kind of a cool add to the collection. Kind of a cool story, you know, him kind of coming up last year, and he's up there in age a little bit, probably on the later half of his career, but still has been putting up some decent defensive and offensive numbers for the ball club. So I was definitely excited to kind of get him on this baseball post game as well. All right, so last in-person recap video I did, I was able to snag this guy, and I called it one of my best in-person successes ever. Now we can say it's ×2. It's none other than Spencer Torkelson, former #1 draft pick and current first baseman for the Tigers. We're going to see what this kid does. He's a huge prospect. He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of power. You know, I think for him, he mostly just has to make sure he settles in slowly but surely, doesn't put too much pressure on himself, and just keep the ball, you know, come into the bat, swing hard, swing the right way, and hopefully the results will be there. But was really excited to, again, add Spencer Torkelson on another baseball. So really had a great last week or so here at the ballpark to open up the season and to start off early April. Another Spencer Torkelson to add to the collection. So that's kind of the recap today for all of the in-person autographs. I do want to make one more plug because we are very close now to getting to 100 subscribers. And I am going to give away this free autographed Al Kaline baseball once we hit that 100 subs. So make sure you like, subscribe, share this video. If you like what you see and you like following my autograph journey and just kind of hearing a little bit about the Tigers and MLB in general, then make sure you hit subscribe, hit that notification button to get updates, and plenty of more content to come, guys. So really appreciate you taking the time. Hope your mailboxes are good to you and your graphing experiences are exceeding your expectations. And we'll chat real soon. Thanks so much for being along for the ride.